This is Basha today, getting ready to make sauerkraut, and we'll be adding Polish sausage to that, and that's smoked Polish sausage. And here's some ingredients that we'll be using. These jars of sauerkraut, it's shredded sauerkraut. It's 2 pounds in each jar, but that of course includes water, so it's not really 2 pounds when you get rid of the water. Anyway, so I'm using 4 jars. Then chicken broth, 2 of these 32-ounce containers, and I always try to get the low sodium. And some spices, minced onion. You can use fresh onion. I don't have any right now, so that's okay. Minced onion will do. Garlic, salt, bay leaves, salt and pepper, Maggi seasoning, and of course bacon. That's where we start. So step 1 is to cut up all this bacon and put it into a pot. I'm using a very large pot, and that's to make sure that all that sauerkraut will fit in there. Alright, so I'm going to cook this bacon until it starts turning brown but not crispy, and cooking that on medium. So while that's cooking, we're going to start on the sauerkraut. And the first thing is I open one jar, the very first jar, and I do have a colander inside a bowl. So what I wanted to do was save some of that juice just in case I need to add some more sour. But this is the only one that I will save. And then obviously it's going to go in the sink, and I'm going to wash this running water, cold running water, for about a minute or so, and then squeeze all that water out. Okay, the bacon has cooked, and there's a lot of grease down there, so I'm actually going to remove half of the bacon drippings and put it into a bowl for later use. Okay, got the grease out, so now it's time to put the first jar of clean, washed and water squeezed out sauerkraut into this pot. And that will start cooking, and I will work on all the other jars pretty much the same way. Okay, so now all the sauerkraut is in here. All of it was washed, rinsed, all the water squeezed out, and then all of it is in here with the bacon. So I'm just stirring. You have to keep stirring and stirring. Really, this upfront process, doing that much sauerkraut, it takes about 40 minutes. But you get this right, the rest is very easy. Just keep on stirring until you notice that the sauerkraut starts changing colors and looks a little bit golden. So probably the way it looks right now, I'm thinking probably another 10 minutes, and then we'll be able to add all the spices and the broth and water. Alright, so this process so far has been about 40 minutes, and now's the time to add. I added about 5 or 6 bay leaves. The bay leaves go in there, and we have some garlic powder. Just be generous with it. You can always add more. Salt and pepper, and I'm actually using half a cup of minced onion, and the chicken broth. And we'll use 2 containers, and then just fill it up with water just to cover all the sauerkraut. So we have 1, then we'll add the other. Salt and pepper to taste. I can always add more as it cooks. And a little bit of salt. Alright, just going to put water on top of all of this, so we will raise up probably to about this high in the pot, and we will cook on bring the pot to boil, and then reduce heat to medium or medium low, and let it cook for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Alright, I've got everything in the pot, and now it's beginning to going to start bubbling, and I will turn it down and cover it and let it cook for about 40-45 minutes. Now we will add this seasoning, and this seasoning right here actually improves the taste. It's really nice seasoning that my mother used, and so am I. It's great for any vegetables that you prepare, for stir fries. It just enhances the taste. So I use it with my, whenever I cook vegetables, the stir fries or all the soups that I prepare. It's just a nice seasoning. As far as the sauerkraut, there are people who actually claim that certain brands are better than others, and getting it in a bag is better than in a can, etc., etc. I buy mine in jars. It's something that my mother has always done. As far as the brands, I look for stuff on sale. I didn't really notice a difference in the more expensive ones than the cheaper ones, so I just get the store brand. So at this point I will use some of this Maggi seasoning. This is a 6.7 ounce bottle, so I'm just going to use a little bit. Just sprinkle it in here as it begins to cook, and we will add more when it's almost complete. So just some squirts. Here we go. And just stir it all and let it cook. Okay, so we're just about done cooking. I have added just a little bit of pepper and some of the Maggi seasoning. As far as the Maggi seasoning, for this large pot, this much sauerkraut, I used 3 ounces, so half a bottle went in here. So the taste is perfect. Did not have to use any of that juice or the salty water that the sauerkraut was in at all. So at this point, here's the consistency. Still has water in here. So what I'm going to do is thicken it, and to do that I have some butter in the pan, and we'll be adding 2 tablespoons of flour and brown it just a little and dump it into the pot. Alright, the flour was browned and placed into the sauerkraut. So at this point, just a few minutes and I'll be taking it off the burner, and we'll be cooling it and putting it into smaller containers, refrigerated for 2 days in the refrigerator. Just let them sit there, as sauerkraut or really lots of different soups acquire a better taste as it sits in the refrigerator. And then I will place the containers in the freezer. And at Christmas time, I'll be taking several out and thawing them out and adding some Polish sausage. And as far as the sauerkraut in the freezer, it freezes beautifully. You just don't want to add any sausage and freeze it with sausage. This is the Polish sausage I'll be adding to my sauerkraut for dinner. This is smoked, ready to eat, and this particular one is called kabanosy. It is a Polish sausage, and it actually came from a deli up in Long Island. A friend brought some for me, so we'll really enjoy these. Alright, dinner tonight. I do serve the sauerkraut with Polish sausage with mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes always use the golden potatoes with real butter and real milk. And this, in my house, is what we call soul food.